Okay, so who hired you, Bill?
Well, you know, it sounds so TV, a mysterious wealthy benefactor. And she's been identified as a woman. And she is my friend. I know her.
Oh, you know who she is.
Yeah, I know who she is. And I'm friends with her. And coincidentally, she's friends with a family member who I happen to know. I wouldn't say we were necessarily friends, but I was introduced to that person through her years ago.
So
and
she's donated $100,000.
Oh, more than that.
More than that.
A lot more than that.
So that pays your salary.
Yes.
And your Tacopina's salary,
no,
not his.
No. Joe is a different thing.
Okay.
Because it was specific. She called me up. She said, get to the bottom of this.
Okay.
And her and I had a discussion. I said, well, at that stage, I didn't know who was guilty, who was innocent. And I'm not going to go to defend potentially baby killers. Let's face it. You know, statistically, it's the mother or the father in these cases.
True.
So I said, I want to go out. I'll find the truth, and I'm going to find that baby.
Okay.
Since she said I'm good with that.
Okay, so what have you found so far?
Well, the first thing I did is I went to the family. And I gave them my provisos. I gave them my conditions.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not here for you. I'm here for the truth. If the truth leads me to you as being the guilty party, I'm going to come for you. I'm going to report you. And they didn't blink. They said, absolutely. Vet us, and then let's get on to the work.
So
and that
makes you
me.
think they're innocent?
No, it's not only based on that. There are things that I've done that I can't go into now. And I have both my professional and my personal opinion. And sometimes they're in conflict. But right now, I am definitely leaning that this crime was committed from outside the home. And until I hear otherwise, until I'm given compelling facts and evidence, I don't think they had anything to do with it. Now, you know, there could be a wild card.
Why aren't you in Kansas City right now?
Oh, I'm going back out there. Yeah.
But, I mean, the police are going to start talking to the parents separately.
Okay.
What do you think they're going to accomplish there?
I mean, they're looking for inconsistencies. You know, there are different interview techniques.
Right.
And I can't speak to if they should or shouldn't go. I'm not a defense attorney. That's more Joe's side of the house. I mean, what I'm doing, I'm all hands on deck, hands off their investigation. I'm trying to stay away from them. The stuff that I'm doing is separate and apart.
Okay, so tell me about this surveillance video. On the one hand, I was reading that they saw a guy on a surveillance video walking in the area in the middle of the night. I don't know who that was. No one knows who he is. And then eyewitnesses say they saw a man walking around there with a baby in diapers.
Well,
tell me about that.
Joy, this is really interesting because the video in and of itself, it's a guy, let's face it, he could have gone to the bathroom in the woods and walked out. Right? But what's really compelling is that you have three separate witnesses all corroborating the same general prescription. They see a guy, thin build, you know, complected, with what they believe is a small infant walking. You have one like 2 miles from the home, then another 3, and then another 4 in a linear fashion. To me, this is chilling. Who walks around with a baby at 12, at 2:30,
Somebody
at 4 a.m.?
Somebody who might have kidnapped that baby.
Exactly.
So why would someone do that? How would they know there's a baby in that house?
Well, there's three potential motives. There's profit. Trafficking,
God
you know,
forbid.
where you give the baby.
Oh, my God.
There's coveting, where you have an emotionally disturbed person or someone where you've seen cases.
Could be bringing it
they
to
just
his
want their
girlfriend
own child. And then there's revenge or payback, something like that, where I'm going to make them feel pain, whether it's overt or covert.
Those are the three reasons.
Yes.
Or
and
just
my
a perversion.
Or just an anomaly. Someone went to break into a house, and instead of stealing jewelry, which obviously they didn't have any, they took a child.
Yeah.
It's compelling and it's chilling. But if someone knew if you go to the timeline, it's very, very interesting, and it reads like a movie script where the husband, it was his first day of working late.
Right.
And, you know, the wife didn't know what time he was coming home. And, you know, all this is going...
She was hammered.
No, well, she was not... To my best analytic. Well, if you're going to say that...
She admitted that she had 10 glasses of wine.
She said that, and she made... How do I say this? I'm watching my words. You can't have it both ways. If she was hammered, so let's say she was blasted, 10 glasses of wine, she passed out.
And sleeping pills and antidepressants.
And sleeping pills. Okay, now you're out, right? You're out like a light.
Right.
So the last we have her going to bed on the timeline is 10:30, right? Where the friend is leaving, she sees the lights go out. Friend's next door, at 11:30, she goes in, she sees the lights are still out.
That's
so we could fairly assume nothing happened up until 11:30, right?
Right.
She's passed out.
Right.
We know she's in bed with her children.
Right.
You know,
so
through interviews.
That makes it look like she's
so
not
what does
guilty
she do?
of
So
anything.
what does she wake up in this drunken stupor? You're going to tell me she accidentally shakes the kid, right? And then
I'm not saying that.
No, but I'm saying those are some theories.
Yeah.
Then so you can't have it both ways. If she's that drunk on all these pills and everything, how does she do anything?
You know what, Bill? I think that the drunken state that we're talking about actually helps her.
Well, I mean, I think it's a net neutral. I think it could potentially have saved her life. Because say she got up and she heard something, and the theory, if it was from someone outside the home, were there, this tragedy could have been a lot worse because you had 2 other children and the mother in the house.
Okay, what about this cadaver dog and the smell in the that he found this dog?
Well, I'm not gonna talk bad about the KCPD or the FBI. I think they're doing a fantastic job. They're running down every lead.
Okay.
I go back to the timeline, Joy. I don't see it. Let's go with the theory of the mother woke up and grabbed the kid and did something by accident. Because if it was anything, it wasn't premeditated.
Right.
And she shook the kid and the kid died. Or let's say it was SIDS. Or let's say over-medication. So she wakes up. Whatever incident happens to the kid in the crib, so what does she do? Like on Godfather 3, the silent scream at the end, she doesn't wake the kids up, and she's pacing back and forth. What does she do with this expired baby? She puts it down at the foot of the bed where her children are sleeping, then concocts, how am I going to get rid of this kid? Doesn't call anyone, does it all on her own, then tell me how she did this.
Well, also they said that the cadaver dog could have been smelling like a dirty diaper.
That's exactly
right.
It's the
same sort of scent that they pick up.
And when you pass out, you evacuate, and that baby already more than likely had that, and the diapers and, Joe's explanation makes a lot of sense to me from a neutral position.
What do you make of this this thing that she didn't want to go in the backyard to find the baby because she was afraid of what she'd find?
I mean,
what do you think about that?
I think doing these interviews is a double-edged sword. Doing these interviews keeps this story alive, keeps eyeballs on it, where a potential witness could say something. But on the other hand, you guys are great in interviewing. She's not trained. She's speaking from her heart, and she may misspeak, like most of us would in that situation. So I didn't want to go back there. Lord knows what I'd see. I mean, I remember my friends or grandmother. I wouldn't look. That's all, in my estimation, that's what that was. So what she said.
Does that seem like a natural attitude? I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to picture it. God forbid the baby is missing. I would start screaming and call the police immediately.
So what's the implication? Is that I killed my child? I don't want to see what I did?
No, I don't know.
And then where would she be then?
Yeah, where is this baby?
That's exactly right.
Where is the baby?
I am perfectly willing to hear an explanation, because if I get information implicating them, I would want them arrested. But someone tell me then, how did she do this? Are we to believe a 25-year-old, not extremely sophisticated person who's a stay-at-home mom is totally stumping the FBI, Kansas City, myself, my team, and essentially the brain power of America? I just don't see that happening.
It's not that it's on. We've never heard of this before. Do you remember the case of Susan Smith? She totally stumped the police, if I recall. It can be done. I'm not saying she's guilty of anything.
Right. No, I know you're not. You're being very open-minded.
I'm being neutral, and I'm neutral.
As am I.
Yeah. But what about the fact that the family's lawyer allowed GM8 cameras in the home? I thought that was a little weird. Quickly answer that one.
Why do that? That's opening up the cameras, keeping the story alive, getting eyeballs on it.
Fine, I mean, they could have interviewed the parents, but why does it come into the house? Doesn't that sort of upset the DNA and all that stuff?
Yeah, the crime scene was detaped. The cops let them open up the house.
Yeah.
That's a lawyer question.
Listen, Bill, it's nice to have you
Same here.
It's a good interview with you. I like you.
Thank you.
Thanks.